You're listening to the Soulless Minions of Orthodoxy, alternative DVD commentaries. Hello, my name is Josh, and with me in the Soulless Minions studios is my brother Justin. Please say hello.
Hello, Justin.
Tonight, or today, this afternoon, this morning, whichever, our film is 1984's The Last Starfighter. If you'd like to watch this movie with us today, which we hope you do, our sync point is going to be after the Lorimar Presents logo, which for me on my counterclock is about 26 seconds on the Blu-ray. So please get your Blu-ray or DVD synced up if you're going to watch this with us. We're going to give you a countdown. When you hear me say unpause, we'll all unpause together and watch the movie in sync. Here comes the countdown. 3, 2, 1, unpause. Opening up on... Is it Earth or is it Rylos? I think it's Rylos. Welcome to Rylos, my boy.
Yeah, that's Rylos.
Yeah, that
doesn't look like
that's
Earth.
not Earth. No. The last Starfighter is dead.
He's dead.
Well, maybe it is. Well, that's... I guess
Not even your mighty Starfighters will be able to save you.
We're quoting the movie. We haven't even gotten anywhere yet.
No, look, they're going through the binary chute.
It's the it's the beginning of Contact.
Nah, this did it first.
Well, I know. I was joking.
I know. All right. Let's see. What do you want to tackle first here?
This awesome opening theme.
All right, good. Done by Craig Safan, or is it Safan?
You're the score aficionado.
Well, there it is. Craig Safan. Let's say fan. Craig Safan. I believe during one of our other podcast episodes, I noted the fact that he did the piano theme to Cheers.
You did mention that.
And he also did a score for Remo Williams, which I particularly like.
Which is pretty awesome.
Which is. It really is. I don't know.
You made a comment about this once. I think it was in our other podcast, Listcast, where we were talking about best score or something or other, and you mentioned The Last Starfighter as an alternate, and you mentioned it in a way that stuck with me, is that it's kind of like a boyish anthem of a sci-fi adventure, and I think that's appropriate. It feels that way to me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm paraphrasing myself on this one, but I seem to remember thinking that whereas the Star Wars theme is like adult sci-fi, that this is sci-fi from a kid's perspective, and the score kind of references that. It feels like that. It's big and it's epic, but it's fun and it's childlike in a way. It's the Star Wars theme as written by a child.
That's a good way to put it. I like that.
And it's very rousing. It's great. And of course it comes right back at the end, and it gives me chills every time.
Starlight, star bright, the place where Alex and Maggie left for the stars. I can't help it. Whenever I see that sign, how'd that cat get in there?
All right, now, what do you think? Now, I know having watched the extras, and I think there's a commentary on the actual DVD itself.
Yeah, there is.
I seem to recall the director or the producer talking about the setting here, the mobile home setting, and the reason for that being was whenever they tried to put Alex's residence in a housing tract, basically to make him every kid USA, they felt like they were bumping right up against E.T. and Star Wars, which of course were very fresh in people's minds. So they didn't necessarily really want to do it this way, but they felt inhibited by the E.T. Star Wars, thing.
Fortunately, you're right. Those movies did leave their mark, so there's just no way around it.
Well, they did, and of course they were products of the time this movie was made. If E.T. hadn't been made, I think they probably could have gotten away with having it in a housing tract. But
well, what year was E.T.?
Early 80s, and this is
84.
This is 84. Then I think E.T. was like
82.
Yeah, maybe 81 or 82.
Perhaps.
But I mean, they definitely referenced it. They talked about it and saying that because of the stamp that movie in particular made, as far as a Boy Next Door kind of a thing, Everybody's House USA / alien visitors. They're like, well, we can't do that.
I kind of I like the trailer park setting. I mean, it gives a much more condensed atmosphere where we have all these eccentric characters kind of thrown into this blender. It makes it a little more interesting when they walk around, and as opposed to a neighborhood that's stretched out. I don't think it would work as well.
No, I get that. I would agree with you on that. Just visually, of course, it's ugly.
Well, yeah, visually, aesthetically, it doesn't look good at all. No,
and that's the problem. And also, although we all know what those look like, most of America probably doesn't live in a mobile home, so it's maybe an atmosphere that we're not familiar with, but we can certainly understand it.
Starring Lance Guest as the only 30-year-old teenager.
I think Lance Guest was a badass.
I love him too, but I can't
really
help it.
Don't know what happened to him.
I don't know.
I mean, I know he did various things. He did what was it, Jaws 3?
Well,
not too long after this.
I think it was Jaws 4, actually. The Revenge.
Yeah,
I don't think a lot of people want to put that on their resume.
No, and just to tell you that he's really off the map acting wise. I was watching an episode of House like a year or two ago, and there was a couple that had a daughter, and the daughter had the problem. And I kept looking at this guy because he was wearing a beard, and he was, of course, older. And I'm like, who is this guy? Where the hell do I know him? I knew his voice. I knew the guy. I actually had to look it up and realize, oh my God, it's Lance Guest. And so he's been off the radar to the point to where when I finally saw him again, I didn't even recognize him.
Well, I remember he showed up in an episode of The Wonder Years.
Yes, he did.
And
probably around the time that he made this.
No,
not too long after.
The Wonder Years? Dude, no, this was like early 90s.
Really? It was 10 years after this?
Yeah. Well, I mean, The Wonder Years came on in, 88 or so, and he showed up, I think, in its 5th season, maybe, so it must have been around 92, 93.
Wow. Well, my mental memory, he aged well. He didn't look a day.
No, I mean, I recognized him immediately, of course.
Well, of course.
It's Alex Rogan. I was like, what's he doing in here? That's cool. All right.
Yeah.
I think maybe if Alex was played by a younger actor, one that was more fitting of the age, maybe it would have. Who knows what this movie would have been like? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I think, like you said, Lance Guest did a great job.
All right, okay, Ma, I'll do it.
He did.
He owns the part. He does well.
Yes, very much so. He
has good chemistry with Mary.
Catherine Mary Stewart.
Catherine Mary Stewart. I was about to say Mary Stuart Masterson. I was like, that's not the right one.
No. And I've on the I want to say it's the most recent Blu-ray release of this movie. They have
what, another Blu-ray release?
Yeah, it might be the one that you have. They have an updated interview with Lance Guest and Catherine Mary Stewart.
Oh, okay.
And now I recognize him. Now that I've seen him in things older. And he still has it. I would say he lost some of his suave look that I think he has in this, but he still has that sparkle in his eye.
He does have a Boy Next Door charm.
He does. And when he talks, you're just like, man, you should still be acting because you've got this thing. And Catherine Mary Stewart does also. I mean, she's beautiful. I don't care how old she is. She's gorgeous.
Oh, she is. She's very pretty. Very pretty.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's a toss-up which she's better in this or Weekend at Bernie's. I don't know. She's great in both.
She's great in both.
Yeah.
She really. I mean, she did both of those movies kind of in her visual prime.
Oh yeah. Well, this movie's been criticized by some critics for being too derivative. I mean, we were talking about its comparisons to E.T., and
I think it's more like Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Like
most of all, I remember listening to or watching the very old review of this on Siskel and Ebert.
Really?
Yeah, and Ebert didn't really appreciate it. Siskel enjoyed it, but it was Ebert. He was like, "Oh, it's too much like Star Wars. They're just ripping off Star Wars." I don't know why I'm talking like Sean Connery, but it's like, there was just too much of a Star Wars derivative knockoff kind of a thing, and at the time they were like, oh yeah, the effects were good. I guess it was the first time that, well, besides Tron, really, that they used CG like that. So they were appreciative of
Yeah,
that.
it was definitely a bold leap forward, effects-wise. And they had the choice. They were given the choice by the effects production team to either do it with practical effects, models, and whatnot, or go CG. And Nick Castle really wanted to go CG.
How about that? Zur is spelled Xur.
Mm-hmm.
Hadn't really thought about it before. Well, I like that
I don't think that's a really fair
assessment.
critique, to compare it to Star Wars. Star Wars was derivative, so...
But, yeah, it hit its sources a little.
It hit, yes. Star Wars was obviously referencing the 30 serials and everything, but I think for the most part, what people see in this, when people see Star Wars in this, they see the small town boy,
The command ship. The Death Star. Has a Death Star. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
but they see the small town boy who makes good, leaves home, and he dreams of bigger things, and he becomes part of this battle that somehow his homeboyish nature gives him the edge.
Yeah, one guy up against
one man, one vote.
That's what I was thinking. One man, one vote. Free South Africa, you dumb son of a bitch.
You dumb son of a bitch.
I was like, I want to say it, but how can I connect it to vote? I was like, it doesn't have anything to do with voting.
But that's hardly an old idea.
No. Well,
the
it's
small town boy.
Oh, the hero's journey. No,
it's the hero's journey, and it's not new. Star Wars definitely brought it more into the main. Not that it wasn't in the
Public
mainstream already,
conscience.
but it brought it into a public consciousness in a way that it hadn't been so elevated before. And so, yes, okay, when you see it in this, yeah, you're drawn to Star Wars. But Star Wars didn't do it first, and it didn't do it last. And, I guess in many ways you could argue it's been done better. But Star Wars definitely glamorized it in a way that, unfortunately, damn near everything is going to be compared to it.
Unfortunately.
So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I do not think the comparison is fair, and I think this movie stands on its own
Oh, I totally agree.
Just as well.
This is one of those movies. How many times have we said that? This is one of those movies we watched all the time when we were kids.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for that.
It's fun.
It's more than fun. What do you think the reason is?
It's so easy to empathize with Alex. We've all
are Alex.
Well, exactly. He's our hero, but it's so easy to slip into his shoes. We've all felt trapped by our surroundings before wanting to escape. I still feel that way right now. I want to.
Well, exactly. He's infinitely relatable.
Oh yeah, I mean, I want to escape my town and save the universe and be a hero.
Of course,
and all those things.
Yet he has the skills of playing a video game. It's the ultimate fantasy because he is elevated to. I hate to use the comparison now. He's elevated to being, Luke Skywalker with almost no skill. What his skill is who he is. That's what he brings to the table. We can all play video games, so we all can relate to this. But I think that's what makes this such a great boy fantasy is he's just given this thing. He's given this gift basically. And that's something.
Well, yeah, I mean, he has
just grow up thinking. You grow up thinking. You can literally imagine as a young boy, as we did, no doubt, watching this as kids, thinking,
if he could do it,
Centauri could show up and pick me up. I'm going.
I'm going. Of course. Well, I mean, when I was a kid, I wanted to live on the Enterprise too.
Well, exactly. You just wait to be beamed up one day. I mean,
oh yeah,
it's a fantasy, and this movie is a fantasy. Star Wars, I don't think is quite the same. He gets caught up into things that he's almost way in.
Well, I mean, Star Wars doesn't take place in a modern day setting.
No, it doesn't.
So it
doesn't. But
you can still relate to Luke.
Yes,
but it's this is 1984 now. I mean, this is 30 years ago almost, and but still, this is a very, not much has changed. This is still a common setting.
I get
present. So. And this was done at a time when video games were predominantly still played on arcade consoles like this.
Yeah.
Not in the home. I mean, there was Atari, there was ColecoVision, but this was like just before there was that big boom in the home video game market. So these consoles and your skill at playing a console game like that was taken very seriously, especially when it said record breaker. People talked about records being broken back then, about points being accumulated. That was a big deal. I mean, when you watch the documentary The King of Kong, I know you haven't seen it, Justin, but when people have watched that, you see how seriously people take those records. And still today, someone who got the record over 30 years ago holding onto his record because it means so much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I went off on a tangent. I'm sorry.
No, I'm with you. What do you think of the the little love story between Alex and
it's nice.
Maggie?
They have good chemistry. I like it.
They do.
They look like they could be going out.
Yeah. Even in the behind the scenes of the most recent documentary they did, I want to believe that they're together somehow.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
They fit so well together. It's like
Winnie Cooper,
the show Grounded for Life,
which
the two parents.
Oh, those two. Yeah,
they somehow they seem so real together. You just believe it, and I don't want to believe that they're not married in real life.
Yeah, they did work well together. You're right.
I seem to remember interviews of that where the mom, the actress that played the mom, like her own mother had said, why aren't you married to him? He seems so much better than your husband. Like he seems to fit you better. Yeah, no, they fit very, very well. She's another one that I'm
lost.
Saddened by the fact that she didn't.
Yeah, she slipped away.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I haven't seen her much at all, sadly.
No, I haven't. I can't think of anything recent.
No. I mean, I'm sure she's done things. Maybe we just haven't seen it, but
maybe. You never know with actors that, when this much time has gone on, either they kept trying and it just didn't hit, or maybe she had a family and just got more focused into that. You never know.
So what else has Nick Castle directed?
He did The Boy Who Could Fly. Off the top of my head, that's the only thing I can think of.
Oh, yeah, I know. I know he's done The Boy Who Could Fly, which is... Doesn't it feature the Last Starfighter in that?
Alex.
Does it?
Yeah. Is
Lewis playing the game?
Is it Lewis?
Wait, is it Lewis?
No, it's Lewis in this movie. That's his brother's name. And Fred Savage is in the other movie, of course, but I can't remember his character's name.
I want to say it's Lewis.
Is it also Lewis?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'll look it up.
No, I'm looking it up right now.
All right.
Let's see.
Max was his dog.
Right. No, it is Lewis.
I knew it was Lewis.
I know. It's like they can't both be Lewis.
You know what? Nick Castle must have a brother named Lewis.
Or a son or something.
Or a son, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think of this scene?
The pain of not being accepted.
No, I'm more talking about Centauri arriving.
Oh, Centauri arriving? Well, how do you mean? Do I like it or not like it? Well, I love that shot. I mean, the shot illuminating him in the but that's...
Oh, I know. That is good. I really enjoy how kind of ominous and mysterious it plays, and it still plays. It still works.
Well, the star car.
The star
is awesome.
The star car is really awesome.
I mean, who doesn't want a star car?
It is awesome. Well, I wonder if they ever made toys of this. I wonder if the movie was ever big enough to have toys made.
I don't know. I mean, I would love to have a Starfighter.
Oh my God, I would die to have a Starfighter.
I'd love to have a Starfighter game like that.
I would just ball over if I had a model of the Starfighter.
Someone must have made it independently, at least. There has to be.
Like an actual model kit. I would love to get it.
this movie has a fan base.
A
Certainly
good
there
fan
must
base,
be.
yeah. I mean, I hope so. I'm going to have to look it up when we're done. Look at that car. Great sound effects.
It's got the gold wing doors.
Mm-hmm. Wonder where that came from.
I don't know.
Door's closed, mister. I'm not here for cigarettes or bubblegum, my boy. Can you tell me the name of the
It's
person who
simple.
broke the ring
That's
lock?
what I like about it.
Where might I find him?
It's not overly done,
Alex Rogan.
but it is very 80s sci-fi.
Oh, very. It's not as sleek as it would be today. It's a little
No.
boxy.
But I like it that way.
I like it.
I invented Starfighter, which is why I'm here.
Now, this guy,
It is. We have
The
to
music
talk about
man.
a matter of utmost importance.
Centauri.
Robert Preston.
Come on now.
Uh,
Nothing to be afraid of.
I certainly never met him in person, but given his presence on screen, I would guesstimate that he is probably very much like Ricardo Montalban, just in the fact that he is like effortlessly cool.
Centauri is impressed.
You know?
He does have that
You're the best, my boy.
sense of mystique.
It's not just mystique. It's just he is infinitely comfortable in his own skin. He's experienced everything. You know, wisdom just kind of like pours out of his face.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's.
And look at he's got that laugh. He's like, how old is he? He's like 70, and he had like
Yeah.
a childish laugh to him.
Yeah, it's in the way he speaks. It's just there's something attractive about the way he does things. Like you mentioned about Ricardo Montalban, it's just there's something that just draws you to his face, and you want to listen to what he says.
Yeah. Now with Montalban, it's the accent. You know, you just everything. He could read the phone book, and it's hypnotic. With this guy, it's he talks like a car salesman.
He died 3 years after the movie was done.
Oh, it's such a shame.
He's only 68.
Man, what a shame. I guess he lived hard.
And as the poet says,
That's a shame.
the rest is history.
Where are you going?
Now, I don't know if this scene is a good example of it, but I know that there's at least shots, like probably insert shots, that at the more I've watched the movie, you can tell that they were reshoots and that Lance Guest is wearing a wig.
Yeah, I recall that. Something about his hair.
I think there's in a shot where Centauri dies. I think there's one of those shots that you can tell it's a wig.
Hey, look out! Stop! Hit the brake! Hey,
And
I
we're
love
about
that he's-
oh, we
Yeah, no.
transitioned already into CG.
Mm-hmm. You know, it looks clunky and kind of flat, yes, but
Sure.
it still looks good. You know,
You're like, it still looks good.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's just
Well, there's just
low
no
resolution.
Well, there's
that's
no
all it is.
detail. You know, it looks like
Yeah.
something it would be, you know, what do they call it? Like a storyboard.
Previs.
Yeah, like pre-visualization. You know, before they detailed it. You know, that's what it looks like.
They could do better in previs now, like on the fly, and do better details than this.
Well, most
But,
people who are savvy enough can create fairly better effects on their home computers, probably.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like
I mean,
said,
I
it's
couldn't.
a resolution thing.
So that's what a Rylosian looks like.
You know, of course, I grew up with the CG effects of this, but you know, I gotta say, maybe it would have been the right idea to go with models.
You think?
Done well, good model work, as long as it's photographed well and the composites of the stars and the ship and everything put together, as long as it's done as clean as possible, it doesn't date. It still looks good. You know, I mean, shoot, just look at Star Wars Empire and Jedi. They look phenomenal.
Well, I mean, maybe the movie would have lost some of its personality, you know, if it didn't have this look. Like Tron wouldn't have that look. I don't know.
It's hard to say.
I mean, Tron is in a computer world. It makes sense, but yeah, you can't. There's no way to know for sure.
No. I mean, if you want to apply a logic to it, I suppose you could argue that the the CG effects
Well, I have found
lend itself to it.
I have found a Gunstar model kit.
Really?
Very expensive.
Yeah. How expensive is expensive?
$125.
Wow. How big is it?
Let's see. It doesn't really specify. It's just 100. It's 1 to 144th scale. I'm not. I mean, I'm not. There's no really way. I mean, it looks like it would be, about the size of an Enterprise model kit. One you could buy. I mean, it looks awesome, of course.
That's expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, if money was no object, I'd get it in a second. What about a star car?
Let's see. I don't think people really want to listen to me looking this stuff up.
I like the when they cut to the inside here, the little landing bay. I like the sound effects, just the look of it in general. It's cool. I like it. Just that great 80s sci-fi stuff.
Has
that started yet?
No. I was jumping the gun. Yeah.
I do not care for the look of the Rylosians.
Kitai. Kitanai.
Kitana. Right.
Right, Kita.
Yeah, the bald-headed women thing.
Yeah, it just doesn't
that doesn't work for me.
No,
if they were just straight up bald, like
a
Ilea, maybe.
Yeah.
But they have like a Captain Picard do. And
they have George
work.
Costanza hair.
They have George Costanza hair, and that doesn't work for me.
No.
No woman can look good with that.
No, it doesn't. On the men, it's fine, but they should have given the women hair, probably.
Yeah, on the men, it works. I would have just either had them have regular hair or just have them be totally bald.
Yeah, I agree.
Ilea looked good bald, so you never know.
The model is 14 inches long, 11 inches wide.
It's decent. It could go on a display case.
This is where the music plays.
Doom.
It's like he's going down through the heart of the Event Horizon.
Boom, boom. Which I just rewatched actually recently. And really enjoyed.
Event Horizon.
I watched it 2 times in a row. 2
times? Wow.
Yeah, I actually found myself really liking it that time.
Yeah. Do you see? Yes, I see.
It was needlessly gory, but it was
of course. Yeah.
I enjoyed it. Actually, it would have been better had they cut the gore out, but whatever. That's the difference between.
I like that he has
Scott
the even in this distant planet. It's a show that he's an accountant. He has one of those little visors. He's counting money. He has those like green visors.
Yeah.
I think that's silly but funny. But I mean, look at Centauri. He's wearing a fedora.
Yeah, I was going to comment on his.
He's wearing. He's got a suit. Well, I mean,
love that he's in that classic suit.
I mean, he looks like somebody who should be at the Hotel Royale.
Yeah.
Yeah. This kid has a massive collection. How did he get this collection of Playboy?
Oh,
How?
Knows?
I don't know.
He's a shifty little kid. He probably stole them.
I don't know. I can have him shipped to his house, mailed without being caught eventually.
Yeah, he probably ripped them off from the local gas station.
Oh, she looks so sweet with those pigtails.
She looks sweet.
And that shirt.
You can't make her look bad. Oh yeah, she was in that zombie movie.
Night of the Comet.
Night of the Comet.
It's not.
Yeah.
Was it zombies?
Not really zombies.
No, they turned to powder and then
something. Yeah.
That's a good movie. Robert Beltran's in that.
Yeah, I was gonna say Robert Beltran was in it.
Chakotay.
Chakotay.
I've said to myself a few times if I ever ran into Robert Beltran, I'd be like, "Hey man, you were great at Night of the Comet. You were awesome." Because I'm sure
Are you effing with me, kid?
I'm sure he doesn't get. He gets plenty of Voyager. But I'll say Night of the Comet. Yeah, why not?
What would you say to Lance Guest if you ever bumped into him?
I'd say, man, that you were great in that episode of The Wonder Years. Of course.
I would be so tongue-tied if I ever saw Catherine Mary Stewart.
Yeah, well, she's. I checked. I looked her up. She still acts, but nothing as big as this. But she still looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Time has been very kind to her.
There are actors and actresses that I would not approach for fear that they would be
Diga qua, diga u, diga e. Retro. I love this retro CRT monitors that mean nothing. These lines keep moving back. What is it? This light keeps going back and forth. Other than that, this thing has no function.
Make it blink in
sequence. What do you think of Starfighter Command?
You know,
little too NASA-ish.
Yeah, it's very NASA. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing. I mean, I suppose it doesn't look entirely like a command center I've seen in other movies. That's a perk. You know, normally they end up looking like the friggin' bridge of the Enterprise. This doesn't look like that. It looks like NASA, which kind of makes sense if you think about it. So,
it's
all right. It's a little plain. You know, like its walls are plain. When you, like, the shot we saw earlier, now, of course, it looks fine. But the other shot we saw, it was like kind of cavernous blackness, like the 60s Batman show. You know, I mean, it's okay. It's not bad at all. Like you said, it's just got 80s CRT screens.
Did they invent the universal translator just now? I mean, is this the first time it's ever been used?
Immediately after situation report. I don't like that they're wearing ball caps. That doesn't work for me.
Oh, these caps. Oh, it's a little. Well, it's slightly
That's too
modified.
Earth. Yeah.
To Earth. Yeah.
It's still
they're wearing hats. The caps. Yeah.
The humanish look at the.
Doesn't it look like a mustache on the symbol?
What?
It's like in the middle of the Rylos symbol, of Starfighter symbol right there. It's
I love his reaction. Like, God, Jesus. I assume that's this universe's Klingons. I should crush you to Goron dust. Sorry,
well, the prosthetics on all the other aliens look good.
Oh yeah, the prosthetic work does look good. I mean, they're right up, close up with these guys in bright light.
She looks she sounds a little too old to be a starfighter, don't you think?
This one?
Yeah, she has the voice of an older woman.
Nah, it doesn't bother me.
All right then.
We don't know anything about that race. She could be 16.
See right there below him, the symbol. There's a sword. Doesn't it look like a mustache?
I didn't see it, but I didn't really think of it that way.
I've always thought it looked like a mustache. I know it's supposed to be like wings or something. It's always looked like a stash.
Now I see the mustache.
It looks like a face, like
with the little black eyes.
The black eyes and the mustache, and the sword's his nose. That's what I've always seen.
Yeah, well, thanks. I see it now.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Now everybody else will too.
Mm-hmm.
So we turn to you.
So there was a dark betrayal. Yeah, this is kind of a. I mean, this is a take on every story ever written too. I mean, the son betrays the father.
Right.
Whatever. It's against the father. I mean,
even your mighty starfighters won't be able to save you.
Star League,
a refuge of weak worlds not willing to be our equals.
Victory or this is a little. Do you think this is a little too much? The victory or death chant.
I think it's a bit much, given that I don't think it's much. What I think it is I think it's misplaced. I think we needed to understand the threat more.
See, they're the lights. They're the lights. See, this set does a lot of these panels. I mean, they do look very similar to those panels in the Alpha Beta base in Airplane 2.
Well, I mean, look at that. It's literally just a board of lights.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a restricted area.
Not you, henchman holding wrench. Not you, henchman standing over there looking like you're busy.
Now, you do know who the guy is that plays Greg, right?
You're going to have to refresh my memory.
Like what you've seen him in?
You're going to have to refresh my memory.
The only thing I know him from is he is the CEO of OCP in RoboCop.
Oh.
The old man.
Yeah.
That's him.
Oh, wait. Oh, the CEO.
Yes.
You mean Dick, you're fired. Him?
Yeah, him.
Oh, I just assumed he was black.
No, he's an old white guy. And if you go back and listen,
he removed Vader's beautiful black visage to reveal a feeble, crusty old white man.
What he's trying to say is inside, we all wants to be white. Wasn't that true?
Black rage. Yeah.
No, Dan O'Herlihy is the guy's name.
Okay.
And if you go back and listen to those scenes with him in RoboCop, you hear Greg, and you're like, God, man. Because believe me, as a kid, of course, I thought it was a black guy, too. Black makeup, you think it's a black guy. But no, I don't know what on earth made them think of him. But there are still shots of him sitting in the Starfighter in the suit, but without the mask.
I can see his face now. I can see
just
it.
delivering lines to Lance Guest, who was being shot at the time, and you're just like, holy shit, you really were there. And he's white hair and everything. And I believe the laugh was his idea. You know, that Greg. That laugh.
Did he actually produce those noises himself, or did they tweak it a little bit?
No, that's him.
That's a hard laugh to do.
Well, I guess when you're like 7 years
Not for
old,
him,
you
I
can probably
guess.
punch it out pretty easily.
I think it was a good stroke of writing to them to use this. He's talking about the test right now. Using this arcade console as a test to fight against Zur and the Kondan Armada. That's a neat idea. That's why I still think this movie would still play really well today if they ever chose to remake it, which I'm surprised they haven't, considering they've been remaking a lot of 80s movies. Why this one hasn't been remade too.
No, probably will be.
It's nice of them to project his giant floating head.
Zur.
Yes, Father. Your mighty frontier grows weaker by the moment.
Now, what I want to know, just on a technical level, is how does Zur know what he's looking at? He's not actually there. He's just being projected in there. How does he know he's looking at his dad right now?
Yeah. He's guessing. No one's coming.
I guess you could argue that he took over video cameras in there, so he knows where his face is pointing. I don't know.
Yeah, that's just one of those.
If you want to assign logic to it.
Yeah. Starleague. I love how it
starts to break up.
He's so angry, he's making static.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not for a dangerous child such as yourself.
Yes.
He's got a great laugh, though.
Caught your master spy. I feel so terrible for the master spy.
I know.
You could have given him a little dignity. He didn't have to go out like this.
I like how he just shifted with his eyes. I like that. He's like, look over there.
Yeah.
So. I know, it's like, that is needlessly gruesome.
I know, and in the commentary they mentioned how the melting goes on for even longer initially, and they had to cut it down.
And his like cry,
Yeah.
I can hear it in my head.
Yeah, like that. Oh, so it's Rylands. That's how it's pronounced.
Hear ye, Rylands. When the green moon of Galan is eclipsed, Kondan Armada will invade.
See, he's looking down at them. I don't know.
It's weird.
Maybe he just knows the room very well, so he would
he
know
doesn't know
everyone
anyone's going to be sitting there.
It would be funny if he's staring down a bunch of empty chairs. Yeah.
It's always funny to me when, like, with that setup where, his head's being projected into the room. So, he laughs and he looks up, and right then, the image, disintegrates. When in reality, if that was actually being done, he'd do that sinister laugh and look down, and you see him look like to the people in the room wherever he actually is, going like, okay, cut.
I'm done. Cut transmission. I gave you the kill gesture.
Yes, and I was giving you I know, we're dead. Like, I know where the hold button is.
Well, it's the frontier. Well, They have
What's
graphitic...
The frontier.
They have graphitic sensor nets like the Federation does.
Gravitic sensor nets, yep.
It's nice. I remember
this is pretty cool looking. I mean, yes, it's
the meteor
not as
gun.
detailed, but it looks good.
These are their stormtroopers.
Mm-hmm. This is very 80s.
Very. Oh, it's the scepter. Oh, he has to walk cautiously with it.
Mm.
So the scepter is like Excalibur? I don't
know what that is.
They don't make they don't really describe the scepter. What?
No, they don't. Which actually it's kind of bad writing if you think about it, because they make such a big deal of it, but yet they don't. I mean, I think he says it's like the emperor's scepter or something. But so what?
Well, it's
What
like
do
a
we
crown, but he holds it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just it doesn't have any context for the viewer, so it's kind of just wasted screen time.
Basically.
I mean, I understand that it's showing his character, it's showing his superficial nature and all that. I would have liked to have seen it done a different way, just because we don't care about the scepter.
I like that guy's voice, the second in command.
Commander Krill.
Yeah. We're stuck in the moon's gravitational pull. What do we do?
We die.
He's
I know,
got-
he sounds like Worf.
Yeah.
It takes more than a scepter to rule. Even on Rylos.
My dear Kondan friends, lest we forget.
He speaks with a Shakespearean style, lest we forget.
All bad guys are British.
Oh, of course.
And his poppy didn't speak with a British accent, I don't think.
No.
And therefore only I will give the order to fire.
Meteor Gunner. Fire. That's one of those lines that always stuck in my head. That Meteor Gunner.
Bah. It's like, gate posted. Got out.
Got out. Yeah. And did you know that the guy that played his dad in this, he was in an episode of Trek, of TNG? Do you remember?
Was it graciously Picard? I'd hope you accept it graciously. Is that what it is? Okay, wrong guy. Whom is it?
Let me think of the race's name. It's interrogative.
Oh yeah, the Exurians or
Something like that.
yeah. Something
Yes,
like
Exurians. Mm-hmm. That's us.
They want to know us. Yeah. Oh no. It's
And-
no. I'm sorry. Keep going. I'm sorry.
Oh, also, the guy that played Zur, he was in an episode of TNG also.
Which episode?
I've never been able to pin
Therians.
down
Theories.
who he is in it, but he's in the episode Rightful Heir.
Alert, we are under attack.
The one where Kalas comes back.
Worf meets his brother.
Yeah, no, that's something else. Rightful Heir, the one where Worf goes to the Klingon monastery,
Right. Yeah. Okay.
prays, and Kalas shows up.
Okay.
Norman Snow is the actor, and he plays, I think, one of the Klingons that runs the monastery.
Oh, I see. It's been a while. It's not one of those episodes I watch very often.
No, not for me either. And I kept thinking I would recognize his voice, but he doesn't sound the same. What's the other name for a starfighter?
Gunstar.
Gunstars.
Right. See, now this is just night on Rylos. Right? Well, I mean, outside, it's just nighttime on Rylos.
They don't seem to have an atmosphere.
Well, because
So-
that's what I always thought, that they were on some kind of moon that had no atmosphere, because it looks like there isn't one, but this is Rylos. So I'm thinking it just
Is
must
it
be,
though, or is it like a moon base on the moon of Rylos?
I don't know.
Because that's clearly not.
He does say, "Welcome to Rylos, my boy."
Well, I guess.
So it's just I mean, we always assumed there was just no atmosphere out here. It looked like a moon, but I'm guessing it's just nighttime.
Maybe.
And because the CG, the stringent nature of the early CG just makes it look so clear that it's not actually an atmosphere. I'm assuming.
Well, maybe. You might be right. 84.
Yep.
You sure I can't
That
give you a hand?
backdrop looks familiar.
Quite enough already, thank you.
Well,
Hometown.
Pretty
it's only a
much.
couple miles from here. I guess I can walk it.
I've walked
So
around
long.
such areas.
Bye, Centaur.
Very recently.
Mm-hmm.
Ran up the Gorn.
The Gorn Rocks.
The Gorn
yeah.
Rocks.
This just looks like, just
Bakersfield.
everywhere. Bakers. It looks like everything I've ever known in my life, except for, I mean, those aren't cornfields, but they just big tall grass, crap.
He reduces me
Yeah,
to
they don't have
nothing
big
and
tall
then
grass
he
anywhere else in the United States.
What a world this is.
Midwest or
It's a second chance, my boy.
wherever they are.
If you change your mind, just tap the communal crystals.
That's a communal crystal.
That's what it's called.
Mm-hmm. Keep
Alex,
it.
Alex, you're walking away from history. History. Did Chris Columbus say he wanted to stay home? No.
Yeah, he's actually dressed like the most recent Doctor Who, with the bow tie and everything.
Who's Goloka?
It looks like he changed a little bit. But...
It's the hat.
Well, no, I mean, I guess.
Listen, Centauri, I'm not any of those guys. I'm a kid
And
from
I think
Did the star car actually survive? I mean, is it still around?
Oh, you mean the actual movie car?
Oh, they built that thing. I mean, right there, it's driving.
Oh,
away.
they did.
So, did it survive? Did it just get recycled?
Good question. I'll bet you if you listen to the real commentary, they probably know.
Probably.
They probably mention. How do you not mention it? You know,
of course.
I seem to remember them saying that it never worked because they had to build it on top of some sort of chassis, and it just didn't work very well.
Sure.
Couldn't steer for shit.
Just drive straight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen to this. You're not going to believe this.
I told you, Alex. Me and my, how'd you put it, strange
sexual urges.
aren't talking to you anymore.
Did I miss something?
That's what she said.
No. I mean, did I miss something? I mean, I wasn't paying attention to the beta unit do something already.
Yeah, the beta unit did something.
What
We haven't seen that.
What did the beta unit do yet? Or do? I thought the beta.
We haven't actually seen him do it yet.
Well, the beta
unit
unit.
do anything.
Well, the beta unit hadn't fully formed yet. What did?
No, he's formed. Yeah, UK, you did miss that. That already happened.
What did I? Oh, I must have been distracted by.
Me too. I didn't actually see it myself, but obviously it happened because this is where he meets the fully formed beta unit. But the beta unit's obviously been functioning because he.
Is this when he says like she tried to stick her tongue in my ear or something? Is that?
Who's there?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. May have been a little while since I've watched this movie all the way through, so I'm confusing myself.
Hey, you look like me.
Hey, you look like me.
What the hell's a beta unit? A beta unit.
Exact duplicate, only not as loud.
Yeah. I love how he makes a big deal about that.
I was in the
Huh?
I became you, unfortunately.
He's a bitter beta unit. I became you.
He really doesn't like this place.
No.
State-of-the-art, top-of-the-line beta unit. Sent here as a courtesy replacement for while you're away. This is without subtitles. This is actually from memory.
Yeah, I figured as much.
Are you kidding? It's war up there.
Oh. Save the whales and not the universe, huh?
Well, why don't you go up there and fight?
Simuloids can't fight. We're not allowed.
It's one of the situations where if I was an actor, I know I'd dread having to play a scene where I have to act with myself. Because I would just tell the director, I only have one expression. I'm like, it's not gonna work. Hey, it's Ducat. It's Mark Alamo. Alamo, is that how it's pronounced?
If I had to guess, yeah. So this is like 3 people that have been in Star Trek already.
How do we even know that Captain Maxwell is still in Sector 21505?
Ship's transponder signal.
You can read our transponder codes.
This is like intense for me whenever I see this.
Whenever you see him being transformed.
Yeah, it's always, I don't know, something very intense about it for me. Just the music and the sound effects of the
Mm-hmm.
It's cool. I like it.
Well, yeah, there's always like, oh man, that sucks. Look what he got turned into. Poor guy. All he did was look at the screen at the wrong time. Poor guy. Now he's a Zandozan.
Yeah.
With only one thought on their microscopic little brains. Kill Alex Rogan.
Dirty little creatures or filthy little creatures.
You're blowing it, Alex.
Oh, here it is. Alex, what the hell is going on?
Oh, he said, what the shit? No, he said, what the shit? At least that's what the subtitle said.
Okay, then I was like a line before that.
Yeah.
Take your Tonka toy with you.
Starfighter, you have been recruited by the Star League to defend the frontier against Sur and the Kondan Armada. Greetings, Starfighter. You have been recruited by the
This was a good, simple, and effective motivation, I think, to get Alex. to want to go. And actually, I really like, now that I say that, I really do enjoy the kind of little arc that he goes through here. You know, Skywalker, when he got out there, he wanted to be out there. You know, he yearned for it. When Alex gets, you know, he wants to move on and do bigger things, but when he gets out there, he's like, holy shit, this is too big. I can't do this. You know, and he wants to go home. And he just feels overwhelmed. And he was willing to come back home, and he probably would have, had this incident never happened, he probably would have gone to community college and lived a quiet life and tried to forget that this whole thing ever happened. But
I wonder what kind of education he gets on Rylos. Does he go to school there?
I don't know.
Do they have a junior college there?
I have no idea. Okay. But I like that he is reluctant to the point where he even leaves, where, you know, to fulfill the fantasy or to impose the fantasy on the viewers, you know, we all would have just dove right in. But he wanted to go home. And it took this incident to make him realize, no, he's got to go back. I like that.
Well, it was the fear of the unknown, the fear of death, of course, that drove him away.
Well, of course, and I like that. I thought that was a nice touch.
Yeah, I mean, he just wanted to go to. He wanted to go to college. He didn't. He didn't want to fight.
He didn't want to become like a general in some friggin' war. Could have been a little more dynamic.
This
but it still works.
Yeah, I agree.
But I like that Alex doesn't do it. You know,
killed the Zandozan.
Yeah, because he's not there yet.
No,
you know, he's running and hiding. He's going to fight him if he needs to, but he's not like, you know, Jackie Chan. You know, he's not going to get out there and like go fisticuffs with the guy. He's scared, so he's running.
Get a good look, Alex.
How does that? Well, what's the technology involved with turning someone into a Zandozan? How did that work? Did Zur, the Kodans, they sent a signal into that game?
No. This is what I think happened.
Is that ever explained? Am I missing something?
No, I don't think it was. But what I think happened was that Gul Dukat showed up, and I think he was the Zandozan, and he was disguised somehow.
Wait a minute, no, he wasn't already the Zandozan. That cop gets turned into a Zandozan later.
He does?
Yeah.
When does that happen?
Doesn't a cop get turned into a Zandozan?
Oh, well then.
Well, does he, or does he get killed by a Zandozan?
Oh, now you're making me actually wonder if I know what I'm talking about. I always, now maybe, you know what? Now that we're watching this, really watching it, we're going to have to see if we're right. Because I always thought that that Dukat's character was, you know, what was an intergalactic hitman, and he was somehow disguised to look human, and when he got in front of that screen, because it was made from Rylos, it like reacted, and it you know, shorted out whatever.
It's funny how we have two different perceptions of how that works.
That's what I always thought it was.
Oh, I see.
Always. But maybe I'm way wrong, because I seem to remember something with the cops later on, but I don't remember what exactly. That's always the part of the movie that I'm kind of like, all right.
He's either
get out of here,
turned into one, or he's killed by a Zandozan. I can't.
Well, we're gonna have to pay attention this time and see.
You too, Alex.
I always felt the motivation. It was a little weak, you know, just a little bit for him to go back.
Well, I think since Centauri makes it very clear, he's like, they're gonna keep coming for you.
Yeah,
although how do they know?
It was one isolated incident, and he dispatched the Zandozan very quickly. And that's a nice touch. They made the blood like a bluish green instead of red.
Yeah,
it's a good touch.
Yeah.
But it was,
although, you know, why really was a Zandozan being sent after him? I mean, they didn't even really know who he was. He just showed up that day.
Yeah, I mean, did the Kodans already have a suspicion that there would be a... I mean, they're hunting down the Starfighters.
They thought they destroyed the Starfighter base, and they thought they destroyed all the Gunstars, and all the pilots. So, I mean, really, I don't see the motivation in them. How do they even? I mean, Centauri showed up with Alex, surprising everyone.
Yeah, so they're not. I mean, unless, because, there was the traitor here in Starfighter Command. They let the Kodans know that
there was a Starfighter out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's not even really a Starfighter. That's the thing. He's just a recruit.
Well, he knew that he was recruiting some people from Earth, so he's he told that information to the other Kodans, and they
I think it's a lot of
with it.
supposition. I think we should have been.
Well,
given
it's supposition.
That.
You thought that the Golden God was already a Zandozan.
Well, that could be because I totally wasn't paying attention. So if that scene comes up and a cop gets turned into one, then I'm wrong. But that's always as a kid what I thought it was. But I think that should have been on screen. Like what motivated the Kodans to go after him. I like this 2-shot.
Oh, it's very sweet. I guess it's just because he makes such a big impression, Robert Preston's character, I always felt like he was in it more. And this is his death scene already.
He's really not. He's in a couple scenes. But yeah, he makes an impression.
Until the next dimension, old friend.
Still, old friend.
I like how his head, how he dies. Look at the way he's sitting there.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's like Curly. Because he ate too much bacon.
He ate bacon at every meal.
You can't do that. He died with his eyes open. I always prefer when they do that.
Yeah.
Was that the wig?
Oh, I wasn't paying attention.
I think it was.
It might have been. I seem to remember that.
I think he took his wallet.
Where did that? Oh, okay. He sat out.
It's just the intonation I use.
No, I get it.
That's a wig. No? I can't tell anymore.
I'm not sure. I'm too far away. This is I think the scene slows the movie down.
Slows the pace.
But it is especially given the scene we just came from and the next scene where they're
does
under
seem
attack.
a bit unnecessary. It does. It stops the movie cold. We just had one of the main characters die, and it's a touching moment, and we go to this kind of lighthearted moment.
Yeah.
And it
doesn't really accomplish anything.
It doesn't. No, I mean, it's funny.
Yeah, it's on its own.
Comedic relief.
It's a funny little moment.
Yeah,
but it did need to be here. It does stop the movie cold.
This is where he says, "What the hell is going on?"
Oh, okay, yeah.
This is where he says it.
Yeah.
Alex.
Yeah.
What the hell's going on?
Yeah.
You're having a terrible nightmare.
Go back to sleep.
Lewis.
How could you, eventually Lewis will fall back to sleep,
See, here's the other Zandozan arriving, so maybe I was wrong.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think Ducat was in disguise. I just love Greg. He's the perfect trainer, father figure, friend.
I really like these uniforms too.
Yeah,
I mean, I wish I had this. I could dress up like this.
I think fans have made them.
I wish you could, buy them. I mean, it's.
Oh, I know. They are really cool.
Yeah. I'd be this every year for Halloween if I had it.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
And only the cool people would know what you are.
Well, even if they don't, it looks cool anyway.
Yeah, they would just think you're a spaceman or an astronaut. Like, F you, I'm not an astronaut.
From here.
And the design, I mean, I wonder who designed the Gunstar.
I don't know, but it's beautiful.
Okay, so where do I sit?
Way up there.
Up there.
And the gunnery chair.
Gunnery chair.
Hang on.
Okay.
Now, climb into the gunnery
Where's he
chair.
being put in? Is he being put in on the top or the bottom?
Put in through the bottom, into the top?
Well, there it is. Yeah, because I don't know. It just looked funny.
Well, it's hard to judge what we were looking at. The angle was not to our advantage.
That's true.
The screen will
I love the cockpit here.
Oh,
I
it's
mean, all
awesome. It's awesome. The design is awesome.
I mean, all it is a helicopter cockpit, really. You know, kind of like
an Apache.
You know, yeah, like an Apache.
I am the greatest. I am the greatest.
Just a little bigger, you know, wider, but it's that's all it is.
It's more spacey.
But I love the heads-up display, the HUD he has there. That's awesome.
Grasp the target control with your right hand.
I am the greatest.
It's the best line from that movie.
Yeah, it's the best part of that movie.
Oh, don't touch that. That's Death Blossom. Weapon of last resort.
Your accent is wonderful.
Well, I can't do what Greg's. I can't do it like Greg, so.
Ignition.
Oh, the thermal curtain is failing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Light it or they're gonna die.
Death is a
primitive concept. I
prefer to think of them as battling evil. In another dimension. In another dimension? How many are left?
Including yourself?
Yeah.
One. It still works.
Yeah.
It's really good editing, good pacing right there. That's how you do it. I love that his thing spins, that he can talk to him like that.
Turn around. Yeah.
That's great.
Exactly. Zero thinks you're still on Earth. Classic military strategy. Surprise attack.
It'll be a slaughter.
That's the
See, this is the part.
It'll be a slaughter.
Oh, my slaughter. Yeah, this is the part that really makes it exciting, you know, when you're a young boy, you know. One gun star against the Armada. You know, it's the battle against desperate battle against unconceivable odds. Is that what he says?
It's the desperate battle against incredible odds.
You know, he says, I've always wanted to fight a battle like that. I'm like, we have all wanted to fight a battle like that. That's what makes it so exciting, you know, going up against a whole army.
He's the only one that can save them.
Yeah, the only pilot, the only gun star. It's like,
you know what it is?
Mm-hmm.
This just occurred to me. This is why this is a boy fantasy movie. This is a Mary Sue. You know, in writing terms, what a Mary Sue is.
Yes, yeah.
This is a Mary Sue. He comes in. Everyone else is somehow dispatched. He's the only one that can save the day.
Well, isn't a Mary Sue supposed to be a blank slate, too?
No.
I thought a Mary Sue was supposed to be completely blank, and you're filling in.
No, I always
yourself into.
To me, the Mary Sue was like, you know, fan writers of Star Trek stuff will write, you know, the Enterprise goes back in time to 2013 Earth and beams up this one boy, and this boy is like amazing, and he does everything, you know, and he saves the day. That's like a Mary Sue.
Okay.
And Alex Rogan is the audience, and so it's kind of like a Mary Sue story where he gets up there and suddenly he's the only one that can save the day. This stuff
slows it down.
It just slows it down. It's
not
bad.
Yeah,
it's good.
You know,
it's good stuff.
I hate to admit, there was always a lack of excitement from this portion. You know, when it transitions back to beta.
Yeah.
On Earth. I mean, it's funny.
Now, when they get to the camp scene,
that's funny.
That gets a little more interesting.
But no, I mean, it's you can't beat the stuff in space. You know, that's so energetic and dynamic compared. I mean, this it slows the pace down. And I mean, you're always just like, oh, when are they going to go back to Alex and the Gunstar? It's like
the only reason I like that they come back here is we get to see her, and that as a kid, this shit bored me to tears. But as an adult, when I see it, I'm just in love with her. So it's like put her on screen at all times. I mean, God, look at her; she's beautiful. But it does slow the movie down.
Oh,
and when they get to the camp scene, when the Xandozans come in and the action starts, then it's really cool.
I mean, maybe if they gave Alex on Earth, the beta unit, a little more something to do, give him a plot of his own, a mission, an agenda. All he's really doing is just pretending to be Alex and just hoping not to fool everyone. I mean, he's putting up an antenna right now. He's not really doing anything. He's just...
No, you know, if they wanted to make it interesting, if they insisted that the Xandozans are going to be coming after him, then have him seek them out, you know, preemptive strike kind of a thing, just to make it interesting. See, what's he dressed as?
Yeah, see, here's
he was...
Here's the cop. I guess the cop maybe just
Well, something's gonna happen. We're gonna see.
Yeah.
I think he like steals his face or something.
maybe.
Yeah, because something happens in the car where it gets all like bright and
Yeah.
everything.
It's like it's the Twilight Zone movie. You want to see something really scary? Okay, but this is really scary now.
Wait a second. We knock out the turret to get the fighters. But to get the turret, we gotta get through the fighters. We're dead.
I'll have it all figured out by the time we reach the
I like his
frontier.
voice, Lance Guest. It's got a familiar quality, is what it is.
Familiar.
You know, he sounds like someone you could know. You know.
Yeah, it's one of the things that makes him so appealing.
Yeah.
What's a cargo ship doing this close to the frontier?
Oh well, this is a little Star Warsian. You know,
Yeah.
Well, it's a TIE fighter. What's it doing so far away? You know, it's heading for that small moon. Yeah,
It's a space station.
yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Alex Rogan! Azurian ship!
I like that you feel the weight of that,
Of the Gunstar.
of the Gunstar in that shot. You know,
Yeah,
felt heavy.
it's because you can see its momentum is carrying it in one direction, and he's trying to pull it back to the other. So you feel it having a bit of weight.
Yeah, I like that. Nice touch.
I've blocked its beamer frequency, so I can't
So
report back to the
is this just the frontier? I mean, these are all just it's just like a big shield. These are like shield generators of some kind, and it's producing a shield, right? You know, containing.
No, you know what it is? It's
It's the Jetsons.
No, I wasn't gonna do
Okay,
it.
okay.
It's like the minefield that Rom set up in Deep Space Nine. You know,
okay.
regenerative things. You know, like they're mines. You know, if they try and go through, then they swarm and they replicate, and you can't get through it. You know.
Where are we gonna live? I don't have enough closet space. Yeah, okay. I mean, so they're mines? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. I'm fucking guessing here, man. But when I saw it,
I just thought they were shield generators or some kind. You know, like
Well,
it's just like a
now
big
that-
fence. You know.
that's probably what they intended it to be. But of course, now I see DS9. I see the minefield. So that's what it is to me.
Here's where he does his laugh.
There it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Interstar.
I did it.
You did it.
You almost got me killed. I could have been killed. I don't want any more scares.
handle this by putting you in the thick of battle. A great starfighter would emerge.
Wow.
But alas, perhaps.
I like this too. See, again, this is another element of Alex trying to run from this thing that's being pushed on him, and Grigg had to literally force him into it and make him kill. And that's a big step. And you know, it did piss Alex off, and you know, here they are having a little tiff about it.
Well, every hero has to have that arc. I mean, they're never completely capable in the beginning. There's always
it's not about
the
being
journey.
capable.
It's the reluctant hero is often
the reluctant hero. That's what it is. But he's more than just. I mean, he's scared.
Well,
you
yeah.
know, and
he's out of his element. You know, it's the first time
But
he's
I
out
like
of his
that they-
element his whole life.
Yeah, and I like that they took a whole scene to show us take his first step into this world that he's going to have to be. He's killing people.
Who is that? The blonde. You can't see it, can you?
I can see her. She's kind of a staple of 80s movies.
Yeah.
Isn't she in Killer Clowns?
Yeah, she's the girlfriend in that, right?
Killer Clowns.
Outer space.
Spaced out. You're not yourself.
Now that almost looks like
That's got to be a wig
on him.
That's got to be a wig.
You or me?
See, this strikes me as something they may have shot later to kind of pad the movie.
Pat it out a little bit. It's too short or something like that.
Yeah, maybe. I'm totally guessing, but maybe.
Well, yeah, I mean, because the scenes between her and Beta, they don't advance her relationship with Lance Guest with the real Alex. You know, not
No.
really. It's just wasted time, really.
It is. I seem to remember the commentary of them talking about that scene and that Lance Guest had like 103 fever or something that night, and he really didn't want to do it.
Well, here's the really scary moment.
Here it is.
He was just making
He
water.
like pops up, or he's
Okay. Smelling. You can smell. That's what happens. Thank you for doing the sound effects too.
I think he's like copying his face. We'll see in another scene.
Okay.
Of course.
Okay.
This reminds you of home.
This reminds you of home. This is another scene. Unfortunately, it's cute on its own. It's a nice scene. It's well done.
Yeah,
but it slows it down.
It gives you background on Grigg, but it's not really. It takes you out of the battle, out of the momentum of fighting.
Yeah.
And I mean, this could have been done interspersed, with the rest of the action or something.
Maybe.
It just,
I don't know, because
they pause to have a personal moment, where they can relate to each other.
Yeah, I mean, they're just kind of floating in the rock, waiting and everything. But I suppose if they had this scene earlier, like maybe even take place on Rylos before they left, then we would have been sitting here now going, all the end is action, it's all wall to wall.
Yeah, I mean, I understand why they placed it here in this moment to give Alex, let him be able to relate to Grigg a little bit more. It's like, hey, I have a home too. I have a family, and I'm out here too. This my family's in danger, so's yours. I mean, it does make him easier to be in Grigg's position and realize that, well, if they don't do it, then who will? I suppose, but it's low on the energy side.
Yeah, unfortunately, because right around now, the movie's kind of going through these waves of being energy and low energy, and it's ebb and flow, and it's kind of jarring a little bit how that's working. It might not feel that way if we weren't cutting back to beta.
Maybe not.
But because now we're having two scenes.
I'm sensing a fan in it. Perhaps.
Oh, perhaps. What's the runtime on this thing?
An hour 40.
Ooh. Could be done. Yep. I think it just might have to happen.
Okay.
Fan edit. So now he's waxing the bandits like they're nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it's like the TIE fighters. They're not designed to take multiple hits.
Apparently not.
But the Gunstar, well, Grigg mentions that only this Gunstar was retrofitted, so it can take multiple direct hits. So I'm assuming that the other Gunstars cannot.
Well,
that's the
I
way
doubt
I've
they're
always
that
assumed.
easily to be killed, though.
Well, he did mention that, this Gunstar is stronger than normal.
Yeah, but wasn't it Death Blossom, though? That's what he was adding to it?
No, he actually said. Well, he actually said.
Oh, the shielding. He did say.
Well,
that?
he actually said, "Yeah, I've increased the shielding so it can take multiple direct hits."
That's right. I remember that.
What is it, Alex?
Maybe there is a Starfighter left. Isn't that what it says?
Yeah.
So without that
great
moment,
music.
Oh yeah, great. Yeah. The theme comes in, right? Well, I mean, yeah. See, without that moment, we wouldn't have been able to have that transition right there. Dun-dun-dun. Yeah. Finally, we get to see Silver Lake. Good lord.
Yeah,
been hearing about it this whole time. Jeez.
No, Mom. I was gonna go to Silver Lake.
So I guess he did steal his face.
Yeah. See, I told you that I'm right.
So I guess he just stole his face, and the cop he just dumped on the side of the road or something.
Probably. So Ducat, the body of the real Ducat, is somewhere on the side of the road.
Right. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess. So why? Okay, I guess that makes sense. All right. So just looking at that Starfighter game, because it was from Rylos, it just
it screwed up the thing.
I guess. I guess.
Should I put my tongue in your ear now?
Don't bother, Alex.
What am I supposed to stick my tongue in your ear?
I'm kind of new at these gland games.
What are you talking about? It's like you're a million.
I don't care if you're an android or not. If you have Catherine Mary Stewart in front of you, you're just gonna go with it.
Yeah. Well, have you ever tried to use this line on a lady? You're my Juliet, my Venus.
No.
Okay.
I don't think I'd be able to do it with a straight face.
No. Does that guy ever take his hat off?
I don't know.
Darling, forgive me.
Real cowboys sleep with their hats on.
Sleep with their eyes open, so they can still watch the herd.
Mm-hmm. Did you see how leathery he was?
It's like a saddlebag with eyes.
He's behind me, isn't he?
No, that's I like your ass. Can I wear it as a hat?
All the other girls meant nothing to me. It was you.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate. I mean, see this scene. You're right. I mean, this scene is funny. It works, but like I said, it's just there's nothing at stake here when it comes to her. It doesn't really mean it. It doesn't.
No, if we had lost the earlier stuff and really kind of just joined them here,
yeah,
it wouldn't have been so bad because there's tension here now.
Yeah, with the Zanduzan coming in.
Yeah,
him revealing his identity.
Yeah, it all happens
shot.
quickly.
Yeah,
I mean, if that stuff was lost, with.
See?
I mean, but yeah, I mean, we would lose in continuity's sake, In that scene with the antenna, she forgives him she says sorry for slapping him. So I mean, unless we skip the whole slapping incident, if that was removed along with the antenna scene.
Well, don't edit now.
Oh, I'm just thinking about it in my head. Maybe that would quicken up the pace.
Right. We'd have to get it in and start playing. Scratch that paint, you're dead, Rogan.
Always.
Yeah, that guy does not give me the impression of someone who's just going to sit there. He'd have been getting up, chasing him.
No, yeah, I know what you mean.
Going, that's my baby.
Ready to invade, Commander.
Invade, Commander. The Zurian ships have not answered our
I would have liked a more dynamic bridge.
Yeah, I agree. It's a little too... And that prop just shook the table when he was on it and when he moved his hands away.
It's a little too confined.
It's a little too plain. It's just...
Give me a window, Yeah.
Give
me a window into space.
I just hate having to keep bringing up Star Wars, but this is just like an Empire Strikes
Back.
This is
Empire. I know. It is.
I'm sorry.
And Empire had already happened.
Yeah, 3 years prior.
Jedi had already come out, so
Jedi too, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, this scene is very Empire, unfortunately.
Very nice shit Zan has there.
Very alien.
Yeah, it's a little small. It just looks a little puny to me. I always thought.
Is this for real?
Yes, that's what I'm trying to tell you. It's all for real.
Well, then don't talk, drive.
So why does she say "I love you, Alex Rogan"? I mean,
she doesn't say it until
when did she say it? She said
once Beta crashes.
Right.
She looks up to the stars and goes, "I love you, Alex Rogan."
Well, what would really make her want to say that? I mean, because she feel like she just lost him with the beta unit? I mean, I'm not sure.
I don't know, something like
I
that.
Guess. I have no idea.
It's a nice moment. Don't ruin it.
The beta unit could have jumped out too.
He could have, but he had to commit.
He had to make sure.
Yeah.
I mean, his sole purpose in life is yeah.
You owe me one,
Alex. He could still be okay. Probably not now.
Probably not now.
Last Starfighter is dead.
Nothing to stop us now. A head full.
Maybe that's what the sequel should be called. The Last Starfighter is dead.
The Last Starfighter lives.
Sure. I mean, we're not the only ones to propose a sequel. That's been
Starfighter
discussed.
Legacy.
You're right.
Well,
call it
first.
Well, go ahead. What?
I don't think they would do a sequel. I think they would do a remake.
Okay. Well, I mean, this has been discussed openly, right? I mean, we're not the only ones.
I think they've talked about both. That it could be a sequel, and we know what a sequel would be. It would be just like Tron. It would be his son. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
It'd be the same damn story, only with his son, or just do a full-on remake. In my opinion, why not? Why call it a sequel? Just do the damn remake.
Mm-hmm.
Because no one is going to remember this movie to make people remember Tron, so that when Sam meets Flynn, it means something. So few people would remember Alex.
Well, they had a psychic moment. That's what it was.
Oh, is that what
he was looking at the picture? He was thinking of her. Yeah.
That was sweet.
Okay, so I cut you off. It's just I had that revelation.
Chair control. Check.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
you're probably right. Maybe Tron Legacy would have turned out a little more to our liking if it was.
Our remake.
Perhaps. I'm not sure. I mean, it had an interesting idea, but
It
just
does,
didn't work.
and Legacy has grown on me. It
has grown on me too. It's just
needed to be more
it'll
than
never
what it
be
was.
what its parent was. It just,
No. It's just Sam wasn't
Gunstar.
interesting to me.
So, the last Starfighter is dead.
I love his little eyepiece.
Yeah, it's funny.
So simple, but it's great.
That's how they all turn on him so quickly. They said the guards are already here to get him. It's like they were standing outside already waiting. Can we pick up this guy now, please? Let's just get him out of here.
You will pay for this with your lives. Fire! Like, thank God we're done with that guy. Let's just do this thing.
There it is. The turret.
Alex, now!
So what do you think of the command ship? Well, what do you think of its design? A little too simple? It's just like a big V.
It's a big wing.
It's a wing, yeah, it's a wing.
It's all right. Yeah, it's just all right. Nothing ever struck me as being bad about it, you know.
You know what? Sadly, Babylon 5 stuff didn't really look all that much.
It almost looked worse.
Yeah, it's just for something that was made in the mid-90s,
Yeah.
into the next millennium, Babylon 5's effects are really wanting, I mean, I know their budget was limited,
but still.
They had to do a weekly show. I guess that's I guess you have to give them a little bit
sacrifice.
You got to give them a little bit of a.
Well, sure. I mean, I do give them due credit for what they were trying to create. This, kind of big world, in a sense. That, on a TV budget, weekly, forget it. I'm sure it was extremely difficult.
Theoretically.
What do you mean theoretically?
After all, DB has never been tested. It might overload the systems. Blow up the ship.
What are you worried about, Greek? Theoretically, we should already be dead.
I like Death Blossom.
Death Blossom is awesome. I agree.
It's badass. It's a one-time only. Get your ass out of jail free card is what that is.
Well, it just looks cool.
It looks really cool doing it.
Yeah.
Setting up for it, doing it, and the whole scene is structured very well. That he has to fight really hard to draw them in, get them as close as possible, and they may die before they just have a chance to do Death Blossom.
Well, it is very nice of them for all to line up like this.
Yeah, that is
in very very tight formation.
But and then afterwards, of course, Death Blossom exhausts their battery basically, and they're taking fire. It's a great scene, great tension. Well done.
It's a little diminished by the fact that Greg is able to establish power so easily by this wiring like a little switchboard together.
Yeah, I know, but what else were they gonna do?
Yeah.
Power packs are low. We need time to recharge. Laser power draining.
He has his Rocket Man moment where he has to put the wires together.
Oh, Rocket Man. Yeah. Oh, sure.
Greek, my weapons are gone. Should I
Should I do it?
This is good music. Right?
Oh, I know it is. It is. It's great music.
Yeah.
They can really take a pounding, that shit.
That reminded me of Rocket Man with the wires. He said it when Bo Bridges is like, "Don't you remember? It's just like back at home in the simulator." It's like, "Don't you remember that ended really badly?"
No. He's like, "It's just in the simulator." Well, that didn't end very well. I know, it's so cool. No, or he's like, "That wasn't real successful."
Something like that.
Yeah.
We did it.
Yes, we actually did, didn't we?
So they don't completely destroy the Armada. I mean, well, the Kondan, obviously the Kondan forts. This is just the command ship in their
one of the fleet.
in their
fleet.
one of their squadrons or something like that, right?
Something like that, I guess. I mean, the Kondan threat isn't gone. That's why they tell him they want him to stay.
Yeah.
I'm working on it. I'm trying to ram boost.
So he's wiring his little circuit board together.
But it is a nice tense scene, you know.
Oh, it is tense, yeah. You're like, holy crap! They better hurry.
You know, they're gonna get smacked.
They're gonna hit there.
Greg. Love the eyes.
Yeah.
Dun. Yeah, nice.
Weapons on. We have them now. Fire.
They were able to destroy the command. Well, they don't destroy it.
They disabled it to where it ended up crashing.
Yeah. You think they disabled it maybe a little too easily? I mean, yeah. Maybe a tad.
Well, thank God he didn't go for the,
Yeah, like run down a trench and go for a
down a
centerpiece or something like that. It's like you have to hit it right on target. Stay on target.
Listen up.
Exactly. Yeah, they didn't do that. That was nice. Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been bad.
Yeah, but I mean, this ship is massive compared to the Gunstar, and it was.
And what they didn't do was, well,
I mean,
isn't he saying we're getting caught into the gravity well?
The moon's gravitational pull. We die. Yeah, I mean, the command ship doesn't have any weaponry of its own. I mean, you don't see it firing on the Gunstar at all. You would think it would, at least.
Yeah, it was dispatched a little too easily.
Yeah.
Now, we should definitely talk about the alternate ending here.
Right, I don't remember. You're going to have to refresh my memory.
The alternate ending, and I'm assuming it's this scene, was shot like in a conference room kind of a thing. And it's basically this scene, but in a room. And I guess when it was screened, a test audience or something, they felt it very unsatisfying. And so they reshot
not grand enough.
Yeah, it wasn't. And they put it up on this big tower, and I don't know if in the original ending if Centauri came back. That I don't recall. But I've seen still photographs of it, and yeah.
So there is no actual scene that you can view. It's only still photographs.
To the best of my knowledge, yes. But yeah, it was said to be flat. They wanted more life. They wanted the the awards ceremony scene in Star Wars. And this felt more like an emotional payoff.
Yeah, well, I can't imagine it being anywhere else now. Seeing in a room would feel very confined.
Yeah, I mean, look at this. This is what it was supposed to be.
All right, is behind you.
So it was just in a small room, huh?
Yeah, it was like in a small auditorium kind of a thing.
I see.
Just 4 walls, decorated nicely. It looked nice, but it felt small.
It's like the ending we were talking about when we did the Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure commentary. We talked about the ending being in the classroom initially, and that just felt totally wrong.
Yeah, exactly. It was
enough.
exactly the same logic. I love this scene, like the end, the finale.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know you loved it that much.
I love the music. I love the editing. From the second he asks her to go, and she's like, I can't. And he's like, okay, well, goodbye.
Well, why does it touch you so much? It's just the music.
Because when he goes to step on that ship, the music starts to play.
Yeah.
And I love the look of heartbreak on his face.
When she initially refuses.
When she says no, and he gets on the pad, and he starts going up, and he's just like, he has to grow up in that moment. He wants to stay with her, but he knows he has to go. And you see the love on her face. She wants to go, but she's just like he was, 2 days ago. She's scared.
Well,
she's scared.
This is her arc. She was always scared to leave the trailer park. That's what he said.
Exactly. Precisely. And so she's looking at Granny, and Granny gives her the okay to go. And when she steps up there, and the music,
Okay to
first
go.
of all, she yells, Alex, wait, and then dun,
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 dun.
dun.
Oh, yeah, it's
and he
great.
runs up there, kisses her, and they start going up, and the music is just fucking beautiful. And of course, everyone's cheering him on, and it just gives me chills.
This gives me. I mean, the Gunstar landing in the trailer park. I mean,
know,
it looks beautiful.
it's so awesome. It's so awesome. I love it. I just love it. I will crank that scene up, and it just makes me misty. I love it.
It's never made me misty before. Maybe some chills. I mean, it
gives me goosebumps.
Yeah, yeah, goosebumps.
Maggie. As a kid, I always thought that guy played Grig.
Yeah, he's playing two parts. Yeah, I knew you were
Didn't
gonna
you
say
think
that.
so as a kid?
No, but as soon as you said that, I was thinking he's gonna say he played Grig. I'm like, yeah.
As a kid, that's what I thought.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I mean, you can imagine the makeup on that guy and say, yeah, maybe he is Grig. Yeah, why not? That's a movie. It's a convention they do in movies. Two actors playing, an actor playing two roles. Sure. I like the sound effect of the elevator.
I don't.
And this music here, it's
I know it's very eerie.
Yeah. I mean, she knows.
She suspects.
She suspects.
She's pretty sure.
It's all foggy. That's the only time the helmet's ever foggy. Well, it's because of this coming down, this jet stream coming down. I don't know.
Hi, Mags.
Alex?
Hi, Mags.
Alex.
I don't think I would call her Mags, but
hell no.
Is it you?
No.
I'd be like, "What's up, my woman?"
Is it really you?
I would just kidnap her ass and be like, "If you don't want to go, I'm taking you anyway. You're coming with me."
It is you. It's Alex.
Granny has a shotgun.
Make sure and right, or whatever it is they do up there.
So I imagine, if the Gunstar, would have landed in a neighborhood instead of this isolated trailer park, right? I mean, I don't know if it would have the same kind of impact.
Oh, I see. I don't know. It probably would look pretty neat.
I guess
to see it at the end of a cul-de-sac or something.
Yeah, maybe.
That was a beta unit. Beta unit. A robot.
Okay, now Will Wheaton is in this scene somewhere, right?
No.
He's in the credits.
Yeah, I know.
I think he's one of those kids back there.
No, his scene got cut.
Oh, okay. I always thought he was in this scene back here.
No.
Because it just says Lewis's friend, right?
Yeah, no. As I recall, it's an earlier scene in the movie.
Okay.
Like kind of an intro scene.
Okay.
Of Lewis, and it was deemed unnecessary, so it left.
Hello.
Hello.
And this is Elvira.
Delighted.
Me too. How you doing?
What do you think of this scene? Meeting all the people.
It's great. It's one of the more memorable scenes. I mean, other than the Gunstar stuff,
Any friend of Alex? And I swear, I always thought, they had a double.
They had a
doing
double,
it, so he
yeah.
could do it. And
Hear that, Slimes? I'm famous. Yeah, see, this is good stuff. This is good stuff.
You must be Lewis.
I hear good things about you.
Hear that,
I hear great things about you.
And this is my mom.
My attention's always drawn to that guy.
To the black guy.
Yeah,
I know, he's got that great wide eye.
Yeah. I can't help but look at him because he's kind of consuming the middle of the frame.
He is.
And
he's giving
even
great
now,
face.
yeah, he's giving great big eyes. I can't help but look at him. Particularly now when your eyes start to
see
wander.
from this point on. This is where I start to get goosebumps.
Yeah,
where he's like, "Time to leave, Alex," and it gets all serious.
Can I go too, Alex? Can I?
Yeah, I mean, leaving off to another world on a mission.
It's just look at him, man. Yeah. He's military now. He's awesome now. He's got a uniform.
Yeah.
Alex.
He's bigger than this place now.
Oh yeah.
Come here. Why else do you think I came back?
Well.
Didn't we say we'd always be together?
Well, yeah. I mean, to get here or in the city.
Yeah.
But not there, Alex.
Max, you gotta come see. I don't know when I'm gonna.
Yeah,
be
this would
back.
be
I like that they gave her a little bit of an arc too. That she's scared too.
Oh
You
yeah,
know, I like it.
Yeah, I mean that was her character. I mean the fear of moving on, of transitioning out of this small world into the bigger world, and that's why that's a lot of that stuff with Beta just doesn't really work. In the
it would have
grand
been
scheme of
very
things.
easy for them to make her just, kind of, well, whatever you want to do, Alex, we'll do that. It would have been very easy, and probably no one would have thought twice about it, but it gave us some tension here at the end, with thinking he's going to give up one dream for another.
Yeah, so apparently the Rylands have no prime directive when it comes to first contact. They'll just land on a planet whenever they feel like it, I guess.
Wow. These are special circumstances.
I suppose.
He's the ambassador.
Well, he put the helmet on. Well, he's gonna take it off. There he goes. Okay. Yeah,
just look at that.
He's hurt. Yeah, he's.
God, I love it.
Granny.
Be sure and write, or whatever it is they do up there.
Look at that. Oh, God, look at that look on his face.
Oh, yeah, one of the things I always thought of was like, where does she sit? Like, on his lap in the gun
She's going to have to.
Yeah, there's no... Yeah, that was one of those things that I was like, yeah, it looks cool going up the elevator together, but there's no room in the gun star.
Yeah.
Pete, watch this. You're doing. Oh, keep your distance now. This baby really packs a punch.
Left by the stars.
Look at.
So long, Alex.
Ain't that? Oh, go on, Claire. They're going to be happy up there.
You're going to be happy up there.
So long, Alex.
So long, Alex.
We're going to be famous, aren't we, Odie?
Yes, sir. The
All
whole
late, star bright. The place where Alex and Maggie left for the stars.
The place where Alex and Maggie left for the stars.
I don't think you could really tell anyone about this.
No.
They're gonna.
And I love the
it.
music. Dun, 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 dun. Great piece of music here.
Well, this.
Dun, 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 bum, bum,
Wow.
bum, 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 bum. Yeah. Oh, it just hits beautiful.
Yeah, it does. With the,
just friggin' great way to go out. Well, here we are. Any final thoughts to wrap her up?
Well, I think we pointed out some of the movie's flaws that I guess I haven't really thought about, before. I mean, I always felt them, but we've never really actually discussed them before.
Yeah.
But as a whole, the movie still is a whole lot of fun.
Oh, definitely.
I think,
despite its few flaws.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, it's just the pacing and some that stuff we mentioned was a bit extraneous, with Beta and stuff like that.
Very extemporaneous.
And extemporaneous. And can I fluff your pillows? The movie still works. I think it still holds up today. I think that if you show it to a young child, they would enjoy it. They would get into it and be taken on Alex's journey and want to be him just like we wanted to. I mean, yeah, the effects are dated, but it's still a whole lot of fun. And I really would like to see it done again. I mean, I'm usually against remakes, but this one I think would do well with an updating. I really do. I do.
If they manage to do it and keep the heart, I think it could work.
Well, that's always the case, isn't it? To keep the heart, if anything else. But all right, what about yourself?
Well, I think you pretty much nailed it. I mean, we kind of did unravel some of the flaws and point out some of the pacing issues, but the movie is still fun. It's still very enjoyable, and I think I think by and large it still holds up just fine. And I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence as to whether or not I would want a remake or a sequel. A part of me would like both.
Yeah, I mean, I would like a sequel too. I'd like a remake. You know, if they made the sequel, I'd hope they use the same theme again.
Oh my God, I hope so. And I mean, a sequel is possible. Obviously, it could certainly be done.
Yeah, sure. I mean,
I just think it's unlikely because most people don't remember this. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of people didn't remember Tron either, really.
You really think so?
Tron, in our circle, in the nerd circles, yeah, we know Tron. But a lot of people don't. And a lot of people went to see Tron Legacy, probably didn't even know, about Tron. I mean, they were...
Yeah, I suppose.
I mean, Tron was 1982, right? I mean, a lot of these kids went to go see it were born in the mid-90s. They probably had no idea